see much of a problem with that, but it's kind of a big deal. I don't think that young girls should be encouraged to look up to these people for several reasons. First one is Photoshop. Most of the ads that we see are photoshopped to an extreme extent, and it gives little girls unrealistic expectations. Like this girl. This was an ad in Japan, and they made her waist smaller than her head, her hips smaller than her head, and she was fired for being too fat. And that's her on the right, as she is. She's 5'10" and like 117 pounds. She's fired. And that was never released in the US because it promoted eating disorders and stuff like that. And another thing it does, when they think that they have to look like the girls that they see on TV, so it gives them the unrealistic expectations and they want to look like them. And it causes a whole set of problems, which I'll touch on in a bit. It's also some of the movie stars and pop singers are bad influences. A lot of actresses starve themselves to get the perfect part, and an actress that doesn't and stands against that is Jennifer Lawrence. That's why I love her so much. She speaks out against that a lot. A lot of them are also into bad stuff like drugs and other things. Yeah. And the way that they dress is not appropriate. Like the really short crop tops, like super short Daisy Dukes. I have a problem with those. So, studies actually show that men who talk to girls that are scantily dressed think of them more as an object or like just a piece of meat for them. They think of them like in a bad way. But girls that dress modestly, they respect them and treat them as an equal and as their own individual person. So we have to be careful how we dress as Christians because we want to help our guy friends stay on the right track. Now some of the problems that I mentioned in like Photoshop and these actresses cause, here's some statistics about them. 44% of high school girls think they need to lose weight when really only about 1 in 10 of them actually do. 75% participate in negative activities because of their low self-esteem, so they think they need to smoke and do drugs and stuff like that to be accepted. 70% they think that they aren't good enough, like in looks or grades or stuff, and they're always trying to impress people. Sounds really sad, but 81% of 10-year-old girls think they're fat, and 40% of them have already been on a diet on their own choice. And only 2% of women think they're beautiful, which is really sad because another fact is only about 5% of American women actually meet the criteria that models have to be and are like the models presented by the media. And 69% of 5th grade to 12th grade girls say that the pictures that they see and the women that they see on TV affect how they feel about themselves and their idea of a perfect body. And 1 out of every 4 commercials on TV is about how attractive and how to make yourself more attractive. I just think there's something wrong with the society in which a little girl is more afraid of not being accepted about her self-image than she is of nuclear war or cancer or losing her parents. These things I've talked about are some things that I would never want any future daughter of mine to struggle with or worry about. Society needs to change before that ever has a chance of happening. But how? I think awareness is a good first step. Like a lot of people don't know how photoshopped some of these are, so they think they have to be like it when it's not possible. And also to just stop idolizing them and pick maybe historical people instead. Because it's more important, I think, to be remembered for your actions than just how you look. Some women that are super important to history are Susan B. Anthony, who helped with establish the right to vote or suffrage, and Clara Barton, who founded the Red Cross. Not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with being pretty, because you all are, but we should strive to be more than just a pretty face. So just change society so they don't all have